One of my best friends is coming over tonight and we're going to have a little girls' night. I'm going to put together a tea for two and then we have a fun craft that we'll be working on together. So I have a few hours before she arrives and my daughter just went down for her nap. So I'm going to be prepping some tea party food as well as setting the table and the craft so that everything's all ready when she shows up. I started prepping my desserts the day before my tea party. The first dessert I was making was chocolate Oreo truffles. This recipe is super simple. You only need 3 ingredients. Oreo cookies processed into a fine crumb. You can do this in a food processor like I did, or you can do it with a rolling pin. After your Oreos are finely crushed, you add in room temperature cream cheese and mix until the cream cheese is fully incorporated and the Oreo mixture sticks together and creates a dough. Roll your dough into uniform balls and then stick in the fridge or freezer to chill. I like to put mine in the freezer, and then after they are nice and firm, I will dip them in melting chocolates and decorate them. After your chocolate has completely hardened, trim off the excess to make your truffles look nice and pretty. For my next dessert, I'm making a batch of vanilla cupcakes. I will be making mini cupcakes because mini desserts are perfect for tea parties. I combine all of my wet ingredients into one bowl and then add that mixture to all of my dry ingredients and mix together to create the cupcake batter. I found these beautiful mini cupcake wrappers at Walmart, and then I started filling them with my cupcake batter. I like to use a muffin or cookie scoop to make sure each of my cupcakes get the exact same amount of filling. My cupcakes were ready to go into the oven. Tomorrow I will be frosting and decorating them for the tea party. I started prepping some of the tea treats yesterday, but today I'm going to put together some tea sandwiches, bake some scones, and then just assemble everything together all cute. The first recipe I'm going to start off making is a strawberry chicken salad that I will be using as a filling for a tea sandwich. I will show you the ingredients I have laid out, and then I will assemble the filling, put that into the fridge, and then cut out my bread, and then a little bit closer to when my friend arrives, I will put the filling onto the bread so the sandwiches don't get soggy. So these are the ingredients I have for the strawberry chicken salad filling. I have 2 cans of cooked chicken breast. I just thought that would be quicker and easier than roasting my own chicken. I have a can of mandarin oranges. I couldn't find regular pecans, so I got these glazed pecans, but I think since it's a little bit of a sweet filling with the strawberries that these will work perfectly. And then I had these left over from something else, but I think the cranberries will tie in with kind of the sweet and tart nature of the strawberries and oranges. I picked up some fresh strawberries. I have celery and green onions. That's everything that will go into the sandwiches. The chicken salad will have a poppy seed dressing mixed into it, so I pulled out the ingredients to make poppy seed dressing. So I have 2 teaspoons of sugar, some mayo, apple cider vinegar. I'm going to use this to substitute for champagne vinegar. Can't have a poppy seed dressing without poppy seeds. And then a little bit of salt. The most time-consuming thing about this recipe was all the chopping that you needed to do, so please enjoy this short montage of me chopping all of the ingredients I need for my chicken salad. I just finished chopping all of my ingredients, so let's combine them all to make the chicken salad. So I have my 2 cans of cooked chicken. The recipe I'm following calls for chicken breast, but lots of chicken salad recipes use canned chicken, so if you are in a time crunch, I recommend going that route. Then I have 1 cup of chopped strawberries, half a cup of toasted pecans. I have a 1/3 cup of celery, and I've also mixed in a handful of chopped cranberries into here. And then I have my can of chopped mandarin oranges, and I'm adding 1/4 cup of green onion. This is what everything's looking like in the bowl. Now I'm gonna mix it all together. This is such a beautiful and bright chicken salad, perfect for summer. Look how beautiful and colorful that is looking. The last thing I need to do is make a poppy seed dressing and add that into this mixture, and then that will go into the fridge while I prep the bread and other tea sandwiches. Okay, I whipped up some homemade poppy seed dressing. It was super fast to make. Under 5 minutes, all you do is put all of the ingredients in a bowl and stir together. So I'm gonna add my poppy seed dressing. All right, let's mix everything together one last time. I'm gonna stick this into the fridge and move on to my next recipe. I have about an hour and a half before my friend shows up, so I'm gonna try and get as much done as I can before she arrives, but she's always willing to help me put together food and set the table when she gets here, so whatever I can get done before she arrives is great, and anything else I'm sure she's happy to help me finish. I think I'm going to get a recipe of buttercream frosting going, and then while that's whipping up, I will do as much of the dishes as I can and then move on to my last recipe. I'm creaming my butter and powdered sugar together to create a nice fluffy buttercream. I had a friend order cupcakes from me, so these are for her tea party. She requested pink and white flowers on the cupcakes, so I marbled together a pink and white buttercream into this bag with a little star tip, and then I'm just going to go across and frost all of these cupcakes with little roses. I had a few extra cupcakes left over from the order my friend made because she ordered 2 dozen, and this is what's left over. So I'm going to decorate them for my mini tea party tonight, and I made some purple icing. I'm going to do a little Tangled theme for my tea party tonight. For my cupcakes, I decided to frost them with ombre purple roses, so I had a light purple and a darker purple. I went in and used some yellow buttercream to pipe a braid around the edge of the rose to add a little bit more of that tangled detail. If you are looking for more Rapunzel-inspired food and treats, check out my video from last year where I planned myself a full Tangled-themed tea party for my birthday. I have a lot of recipes, DIY crafts, and decor. To finish off my Oreo truffles, I added each one into a mini paper liner. I had to do this one-handed as my daughter woke up from her nap very sad and just wanted to be held. At this point, my friend had arrived and she started to help me. She was cutting out bread while I started assembling the tea sandwiches. I made chicken salad sandwiches and then some simple cucumber sandwiches. We made a little tea sandwich assembly line. My friend was adding the dill cream cheese to the sandwiches, and then I was topping them with the cucumbers and adding them to our tray. With all of the food and treats prepared, it was time to set the table. I set and decorated our table with things I already had on hand. Last year for my birthday, I had a Tangled tea party, so I used the same purple tablecloth and pink table runner. I thought these gold chargers would tie beautifully into the table. I got these purple scallop plates from Walmart last year for my Tangled tea party, so I added those on top of the chargers, and then these white china plates with the pink dessert plates on top. I just loved all of the colors that this tied into the place setting with the pink, the purple, and the gold. I added some of my favorite purple teacups to the table. These teacups were a thrifted treasure. I had been wanting purple teacups for forever, but they were really hard to find. And then I came across them at the thrift store and I was so excited to add them to my collection. I had to add this tangled braid down the center of the table. This was another piece that I had made for my birthday party last year and I loved being able to use it again. I added my tea tray to the table. I love how at tea parties, food is part of the centerpiece. I put together a smaller tiered tray to display all of my treats and desserts on. I wanted to add a few more details of Tangled to the table, so I added some things from my collection. Rapunzel is my favorite princess, so I collect Rapunzel-inspired decor pieces, so I added a few of them to the table. To finish the place settings, I added some pink cloth napkins with tangled lantern napkin rings and little floral bouquets. I loved how this cozy Rapunzel-themed tea for two turned out. My friend and I love any excuse to have a mini tea party when we get together. Sometimes we just have tea, other times we make scones or cucumber sandwiches. This time we had a lot of fun creating a really special girls' night and setting a full tea table just for the two of us. Because this was a tea for two, I didn't want to go too crazy with the menu, but we still put together a lovely tea menu including 2 tea sandwiches, strawberry cucumber salad, and cucumber tea sandwiches. I made a batch of fresh tea scones and we had vanilla cupcakes and Oreo truffles for dessert. Everything I used to set the table I already had. It was fun to pull out DIYs I had made previously and set them up in new ways. If you have been here for a while, you might recognize some of the decor I used to set the table or remember the Rapunzel tea party I put together last year for my birthday. I went all out. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it below because honestly, it's still one of my favorite things I have ever created. I transformed my whole house into the Kingdom of Corona and created a large menu of Tangled themed food. If you want to recreate any of the DIYs you saw in this video, like the Rapunzel braid centerpiece or the Tangled napkin rings, you can find all of my Rapunzel DIYs listed in my Rapunzel-inspired playlist. This little tea party was the perfect girls' night. Tea parties can be simple or elaborate and anything in between. I hope this video inspires you to create a little magic of your own, whether it's a party, a craft, or just a tea with someone you loved. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more DIY fairy tale content. And let me know in the comments what theme you would love to see next. Hosting events like this, whether it's for one person or a large gathering, bring me so much joy. Thanks for sharing a little magic with me today. I'm Meredith, and this is Meredith Making Magic, where we never stop believing in fairy tales.